A great way to start your day with all the news, weather, and sports you need. Interesting interviews and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy. Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports. Welcome to a Friday. We made it through another work week here. The 20th day of March for 2026. Mike Will and Tyson Havronic ready to start your day the right way with all of your news, weather, and sports that you need to get out the door here this morning. Going to be talking a lot today. Of course, the NCAA basketball tournament got started yesterday, and the Nebraska men, they picked up their first tournament win in the program's history. They destroyed Troy yesterday in the opening round by a score of 76-47. So it was a good time, I'm sure, last night in Oklahoma City. The Husker faithful turned out in force yesterday down in Oklahoma City for the ball game. I'm sure they partied well into the night. Nebraska winning 76-47 over Troy. They've got Vanderbilt coming up in the next round. That's going to be on Saturday night at 7:45. So we'll talk plenty about that today. Some comments coming up from Fred Hoiberg and from Scott Cross, who's the head coach of Troy. All that and more is coming up for you here this morning. The Nebraska baseball team going to be in action this weekend. They will be on the road. The Nebraska softball team also on the road this weekend. Season is over for the Hastings College women's basketball team. They lost a tough one to St. Francis of Indiana last night, 67-60 in the NAIA tournament in Sioux City. Hastings College baseball team going to be in action this afternoon out at Duncan Field. A couple of games you'll be able to hear later on today here on Extreme Sports. Softball team playing in Mitchell, South Dakota this weekend. High school baseball got started yesterday. And again, we'll talk about the opening round and the upsets in the NCAA men's basketball tournament. So a whole lot and more is coming up for you here this morning as you wake up with Mike and Tyson as we welcome in the main man from the Western Studios. Good morning.
And a good morning here on the eve of day one of March Madness. How's
on
the bracket
the eve?
looking? Well, on the eve of the, what do I want to say? Day after day one of March Madness. That's what I'm looking for. I rolled out of bed at 7 o'clock. How's the bracket looking, first of all? Mine's kind of a mess.
Yeah, they were a lot of upsets yesterday, and I think I've got 10. I've got 10 out of the 16 games that were played yesterday, so I'm not doing well. I think, you got 12 winners from yesterday? So you're out of the running as well for the $10,000. We do have, I just talked to the IT guy just a few minutes ago. We do have some people still in contention for our $10,000 grand prize. If you get 60 or more correct, we're going to give you $10,000. We still have some people at the top of the leaderboard that are still eligible. But, boy, the upsets yesterday, High Point winning over number 5 seed Wisconsin yesterday. I've got a whole list of seeds that were lower beating an upper seed. In fact, I've got 6 of them. VCU knocked off a 6-seeded North Carolina, 11-seeded Texas over number 6-seed BYU. 10th-seeded Texas A&M beat 7th-seeded St. Mary's last night. 9th-seeded TCU over 8th-seeded Ohio State, and 9th-seeded St. Louis over 8th-seeded Georgia. Now, a couple of those games I think you had in our Blazing Five, the Chiefs Challenge. You had a couple of those picked correctly, I believe. Didn't you have a St. Louis?
No, St. Louis.
You had St. Louis in your Chiefs Challenge. And I think you had, did you have Texas A&M?
No, that was the Chief.
The Chief had that one?
The Chief had Texas A&M.
How did the Chief do, first of all? This is his challenge. How did the Chief do?
let's see. I don't know that the Chief has had all of his games. He had McNeese over Vanderbilt, so that was he did have Texas A&M over St. Mary's. He also took South Florida over Louisville. So that was dud.
Yeah.
But I think his other two go today.
Okay, I've got two going today as well in our Chiefs Challenge. I've got Akron going today with an upset over Texas Tech, hopefully. And I've also got Hofstra and Alabama going today. Hofstra has been a pretty popular choice for an underdog play. Hofstra over Alabama, so those are two going today. I got one in yesterday in my Blazing Five. That was Virginia Commonwealth upsetting North Carolina, so that's a win for me. I took two losses, South Florida over Louisville, and South Florida lost 83-79, played the Cardinals tough for a while, but eventually lost to Louisville 83-79, and then I was on Penn. Remember I was on the Quakers? Yeah. I was talking about their three-point shooting yesterday and how they've been ripping the nets. Well, yesterday they didn't rip the nets, and they got blown out by Illinois 105-70. So yesterday in my Blazing Five in the Chiefs Challenge, I had one win and two losers. I've got two going today. So
I have four today, and went 1-0 in my only game yesterday with St. Louis, and that's why I was like, I'm sorry I was so delayed, because I had to think about that. I'm like, surely I had more games than just one yesterday, but yeah, just St. Louis going yesterday. So Missouri tonight at 9:10 on True TV. For all you night owls, it's Friday, what the hell, right? Northern Iowa against St. John's, that's a 6:10 tip-off. That's an upset I have circled. And Utah State against Villanova this afternoon. And, of course, you mentioned Hofstra against Alabama. So I got four in play today.
All right, so that's brings you up to the Chiefs Challenge. The winners yesterday, the top seeds winning over the lower seeds, Duke, Michigan, Houston, Michigan State, Illinois, Gonzaga, Vanderbilt, Louisville, Nebraska, and Arkansas. They all came up winners. And then the other winners yesterday with upsets, High Point, Virginia Commonwealth, Texas A&M, TCU, and St. Louis. I don't know how many people had High Point beating Wisconsin. So the chances of a perfect bracket again this year anywhere in the nation is probably, I haven't checked the ESPN national totals here this morning yet, but I'm sure not a lot of people had High Point beating Wisconsin. The other ones, there were probably some people taking Virginia Commonwealth and on.
They almost got obliterated in the third game. They almost got obliterated with Duke and Siena.
Oh, did you see that game?
Siena had a 11-point lead at halftime, and then Duke just kind of kept crawling back in the second half, and that was the one. So we were in the middle of class, and I told myself, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to tough this out. Yeah, it's going to suck inside, but we're going to hold class as necessary. And we get about halfway through, and I just glanced down at my phone and had a notification, like, major upset on the horizon, tune in now, Siena leads by double digits in the second half, and I'm like, what? So I kind of I told myself, hey, we're going to do this.
No, go ahead.
Okay. That was weird. That was me.
I don't know where that came from.
So I told myself, like, we're going to do this. We're doing the class thing, right? I looked down at my phone, get the update. I happened to just kind of, like, look up at that moment at the rest of the students, and they were all face down in their phones. So I stopped, and I'm like, how many of us are now paying attention to the Duke-Siena game? And they all looked up, and they're like, can we put it on the TV, please? So we ended up putting Duke and Siena on the TV. While we worked, we had a workshop. So, but I broke my own rule and put the game on.
Yeah. So Duke goes on to beat
Survives.
Siena. survives, Duke will roll on. Boy, that would have destroyed a lot of brackets.
Because what was our data? We had some data come in from the nerd on the bracket challenge yesterday. Yeah, let me pull up our numbers here.
Can you pull that up right quick?
I can.
Let's see if we can get to that.
Where'd it go?
We had a lot of people on Duke yesterday, and for the tournament. Let's see. I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to effort that as well. Anyway, we'll get to that here shortly. We got some interesting numbers that we can find it. Anyway, 402-834-1330 is the Hamilton Telecommunications fan line. If you'd like to chime in with us, maybe your thoughts on something that happened yesterday in the NCAA tourney, something else on your mind here today. We're also monitoring your comments on our social media sites here this morning. I'm still in Sioux City. Tyson is in the studios back in Hastings. Jim Slacker from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network is expected to join us here in a little bit to talk some ponies at 7:30 this morning. If you're just waking up, the Hastings College women's basketball team, we lost last night to St. Francis of Indiana. Broncos losing to the Cougars last night by a score of 67-60. In the round of 16 at the NAIA tournament, Broncos held a 10-point lead 3 minutes into the third quarter, and then the wheels fell off the cart. They were outscored from that point on 39-22 down the stretch. Hastings hit just 31% of their field goals in the game, including 8 of 33 from three-point range. McKenna Yates led the way with 15 points. Hastings ends the season at 24-9. So a disappointing end to the basketball season for Hastings College. St. Francis led the Broncos 11-9 after the first quarter. Hastings had a 5-point lead at halftime, 30-25. As we mentioned, had a 10-point lead early in the third quarter. But then St. Francis came back, chipped away. They trailed by just 2 at the end of 3 quarters, 47-45, and they go on to win by the score of 67-60. So the Hastings College basketball season is over as the women finish the year at 24-9.
Yeah, unfortunately for HC, just kind of picked a bad night to have a bad night, you know. From what I was able to gather in the second half, having it on in passing while watching the tournament. You were on the iPad last night. Just seemed like too many turnovers down the stretch for Hastings College. Kind of uncharacteristic with the ball offensively a little bit. And you know, credit St. Francis defensively for, you know, making the game physical and
they were locked in.
Frustrating the Broncos. So
that was perhaps the best defensive team we have seen this year. We knew it statistically. They gave up only 53.5 points per game coming in here. We look at that and say, all right, what type of game do they play in their conference? We didn't know. Hell, I didn't know anything about the conference that St. Francis plays in. Maybe they play a slow-down type of game the entire season. So You look at that total, 53.5, and say, all right, we'll just keep that in the back of our mind. But then when they started playing, we knew why they only gave up 53.5 points per game. They were very good on defense, really frustrated, I thought, the Bronco offense for the most part. Hastings was a team that's one of the highest scoring teams in the nation, averaging 89.5 points per game coming in, and we struggled to get to 60.
Yeah.
So, anyway, the season is over. I didn't even have a chance to buy my souvenir T-shirt yet at the T-shirt shop. I thought I would be back at the arena today, so before I get out of town, I need to slide back over to the arena to make a purchase before I hit the road today. So that's what's going on in the world of sports here. Did you find those numbers that the IT guy sent?
No, this is the wildest thing. We both got that text yesterday, right? I know we both got that because you were on the text thread. I went back in my phone. I can't find it. Like, I have no idea where it's at.
Yeah, Facebook we had a text. Sometimes.
we get a text from our IT guy on the data from our tournament. And if you can just pull those numbers up again and shoot it to one of us, that would be outstanding, because I have no idea where it's at.
Yeah, I can't find it on my Facebook thread either. So, anyway, he's probably listening. He's probably chiming in. So if you can shoot those numbers to us again, we'll share those. But the $10,000 bracket is still going. We got some people still at the top of the bracket that are eligible to win the $10,000. We're going to give away $10,000 to anybody who can hit 60 of the 63 games in the NCAA Men's College Basketball Tournament. You don't have to be perfect. Don't even have to pick the national champion. But if you hit 60 games, you'll be able to claim the prize of $10,000. I've got it locked up in the vault. It's not going to you, and it's not going to me.
I think there's only two left.
There's only two people left that can still claim it.
In the standings, so you get 10 points for each victory, right? And so, at 140 and 140, if you look at the bottom of our screen, our top three in the bracket challenge have already missed two. So Nicole Evers and Jason Neppel.
That's Hunter Neppel's dad.
Yep. They have the lead with just 2 games missed.
So they can miss another one.
And still be eligible.
If they run the table.
But they're already on thin ice for the 10K. They're looking pretty good for the bracket challenge for some of our other fabulous prizes, but for the 10K, you already got 2 wrong. You have now increased your odds by 64,000 million quintillion. Anyways, we got the data in. Okay, so it wasn't a text message. It was a Facebook post that I thought was a text message. Most picked champion, which is why there was a lot of people that were concerned. Duke coming in at just under 21%. 20.9% of our brackets were Duke with the champion, so about 1/4 was a little anxious yesterday afternoon. Arizona with 19% of the popular vote, and 15% goes to Michigan. Duke and Arizona alone make up almost 40% of the championship picks. Most popular Final Four teams were Duke, Arizona, Michigan, Florida, and Houston. Big takeaway, crowd clearly riding with Arizona, Duke, Michigan to make it all the way as the most picked national champion. That was the Facebook post with the data. So Duke, Arizona, and Michigan are the favorites.
All right. Yeah, I imagine we had some nervous people when Duke was down by double digits at halftime. That was a 16 versus 1 seed, by the way.
Yeah. And my students were very quick to point out that I had told them that you can go ahead and pretty much always fill out the 1 seeds and put them at least into the second round, because those 16 seeds don't happen very... And I had a lot of data to back up my point, but they were very quick to be like, oh yeah, those 16 seeds, they never win those games against the 1s. They were quick to call me on.
Doesn't happen often, but it could have happened here in 2026. All right, so let's talk about the Huskers. We're 19 minutes into the show. Nebraska winning yesterday over Troy. Just your initial thoughts. I was listening to it on the way to Sioux City yesterday. Sounded like Nebraska shot the ball extremely well. The crowd obviously turned out in Oklahoma City. They said it was as loud as it was for a home game at the PBA, if not louder. And just some of the comments I've heard on post-game. But your thoughts, the Huskers played well yesterday, destroying Troy in the opening round of the tournament. They'll get ready for Vanderbilt tomorrow. But just your initial thoughts on the ballgame yesterday.
Yeah, I was really impressed with the way that we were able to fight through it. I think we had a lot of jitters and butterflies, and even Fred Hoiberg said he went out of the tunnel and he got chills, right? Just based on the amount of fan support that was there for the Big Red. And I think a lot of those emotions and the pressure, it got to us a little bit early. we had to fight through it, and we found a way. And Price Sanford shot what Price Sanford does. He just goes out and makes buckets, and his shooting kind of got the rest of the team into a groove, and then you could slowly see the confidence. By the end of the game, I mean, that was the most confident team. I think two teams that really impressed me yesterday. Nebraska, because of not the 314, right? That wasn't the margin of victory with a 314. You're going to look at that and go, well, yeah, that was a 3 playing a 14. Of course, it was going to be a big win. I think the amount of baggage and things that the Huskers had to deal with yesterday put them in a spot where they were extremely vulnerable, and they had to fight through it. And I was impressed with that they did. The other team that really impressed me yesterday, just in terms of how comfortable they looked, was St. Louis in that 8-9 matchup. And those 8-9s are considered to be a coin flip. St. Louis hung triple digits in that matchup. And when I told you that I like St. Louis to upset that 1 seed, I'm not joking, man. That's a good basketball team, and I think that's a realistic possibility. And I'll go ahead and say it on the show. It's on my bracket, so I might as well say it. St. Louis over Michigan this weekend.
Wow.
Calling my shot.
That would be an impressive victory. Anyway, Fred Hoiberg talked to us afterwards, after the Huskers destroyed Troy yesterday. He said he's proud of his team.
I thought they were extremely locked in this week going into this first game of the tournament. And, we talked a lot about that after the disappointment in the Big Ten tournament playing against Purdue. And we had to get over that one. We learned from it. We had a pretty vocal film session that following morning, and then moved on to Troy. And, there was a lot of anxiety going into this game with a team that was playing very good basketball, coming off a conference championship. The teams are always dangerous in this one-and-done format, and they came out and hit shots early. And we talked about, the importance of getting off to a fast start. But if it didn't happen, we had to keep our emotions. I thought we got a little bit out of sorts and a little out of character in the Big Ten game, but I thought we got right back to who we are today. 20 assists, 6 turnovers. We forced them into 17 turnovers. Second chance points, 19-3. Those were huge in this game. Points off turnovers were big, and then points in the paint. And we did a great job of moving the ball, playing simple basketball. This team forces a lot of turnovers. You can't play in a crowd against them. I thought a couple of early, we turned it over, but then we got back to who we are. So just really proud of these guys. Happy to get this, this win for the first one in the history of the program. Most wins in a single season in the history of the program, but we can't be satisfied. We got to move past it. I ask the guys, as I do after every win, are you satisfied? And to a man, they said no. So got to get over it quickly. We'll have a film session tonight on whoever we will face in the next round, but couldn't be more proud of our guys. And the last thing I want to say is that was as loud and vocal of a neutral site game as I have ever played in. And it's amazing. When we went out for the anthem, we had a little monitor in the coach's room, kind of see it filling in. But when I went out for the anthem, I got goosebumps, and I got a little emotional just seeing how the fans showed up for us, and they were a huge factor in that thing. When we went on a run, it was deafening in there, and just really thankful that we could share this moment with our unbelievable fans, and I promise you we're going to keep fighting and keep swinging.
That is Fred Hoiberg, the head coach for Nebraska. Scott Cross is the head coach for Troy.
I'd like to thank the good Lord for the opportunity to just have your guts absolutely ripped out. It stinks, but I told our guys in the locker room, they're not defined by this basketball game. They played an amazing team. Nebraska's one of the best teams. I've been doing this since 1998. They're really, really freaking good. The way they shoot the basketball, and then the way they defend, watching it on video, you're just like, man, there's no openings as you watch it on video. Obviously, we game planned. We tried to put our guys in a position to be successful. I thought we did do some great things offensively. I did think we got a couple of good looks in the first half. But it's tough. It's tough. It's fast. They're big. We definitely, the game plan going in was to make it as difficult as possible for Sanford. He's one of the best shooters I've ever played against, as I mentioned in the press conference earlier. He has a Steph Curry type release. When he got going, I thought that really changed the game, got the crowd involved. The crowd was very, very good. So it's going to be tough. Whoever they face is going to have their hands full. I would imagine they would have a home court advantage regardless of who they play. But, again, thankful for these guys right here. These two guys are warriors. Thomas Dow's one of the toughest guys I've ever coached. He gave his heart and soul out there. Theo Singh just came back from knee injury. Played, injured and played really, really well, and glad that he was able to, at least his last game as a college athlete, be able to play it on the court. It was an honor to play that game against a really, really good basketball game. I wish it could have been different, but that's the way the cards go sometimes. And, again, I know there's probably 290 Division I teams that would do anything to trade places and be in this position right now. So very, very thankful for this opportunity.
And one guy that's been around during this stretch for Nebraska, they were 0-8 in national tournament games coming into the ball game yesterday against Troy, is the Huskers play-by-play announcer, and Kent Pavelka.
I'm kind of surprised. I'm just kind of numb. It hit me halfway through the second half and I started, we didn't have to do exact play-by-play because they were ahead by 30, and so I started thinking about all the people from all these years, and it kind of got me, and I'll think about it more and it'll get me again. But just this was not just a game for these guys or a win for this team. It's for everybody that has invested in it emotionally for a long time.
There's Kent Pavelka, some thoughts from him. Fred Hoiberg for Nebraska. Scott Cross from Troy. But again, the Huskers knocking off Troy yesterday. Got to get back to work tomorrow. Vanderbilt. And they gave us a night game. I like that. 7:45 will be the game time tomorrow down in Oklahoma City in the second round. Vandy is the number 5 seed. And they're a 2.5-point favorite, I see this morning, to beat Nebraska tomorrow. So that'll be a great game, I think. And you thought the arena was full yesterday down in OKC.
Oh, Lordy.
With that being a night game tomorrow night.
Oh, it's weekend. It's a weekend. We got more and more. More support coming your way, OKC.
Yeah, if there's any more tickets available for that game, I'm sure they'll be snagged by Husker fans coming down from the Big Red State down there. So anyway, that'll be a good setting tomorrow. 7:45, Nebraska and Vanderbilt in the second round of the NCAA tournament. We got to roll on here. We got Jim Sliker, who's going to be calling in soon. We're going to be talking some ponies here in just a few minutes as you wake up with Mike and Tyson here this morning on this Friday morning.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Well, if at first you don't succeed, dust it off and try again. That was the mantra of the Nebraska legislature yesterday after the state's main budget bill stalled after a revolt from conservative lawmakers over the removal of the private school voucher program. The Appropriations Committee had originally stripped the $3.5 million that were tied to the vouchers. We told you that yesterday. That prompted backlash from some Republicans who say the move broke earlier agreements. The disagreement led to enough opposition to block the budget's advance, raising concerns about delays as lawmakers face deadlines to pass a balanced spending plan. Meanwhile, a second Nebraska budget bill is moving forward even after the main budget package stalled earlier in the day. Lawmakers did advance the measure to the final round of debate, keeping part of the state's 2-year budget on track. That budget includes adjustments to state spending and is seen as less controversial than the proposal that failed, which, of course, again, was tied up in disagreements over the private school voucher funding. It is now coming up, Well, it is exactly 7:30. We'll head over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's going on in sports?
Well, the Nebraska men's basketball team beat Troy 76-47 yesterday in the first round of the NCAA tournament in Oklahoma City for the first tournament victory in the program's history. Bryce Sanford hit 7 3-pointers, finished with 23 points. Jamarcus Lawrence added 13 points. Reich Mast had 11. Braden Frager came off the bench to score 13 for Nebraska. Defensively, Nebraska made life difficult for Troy. The Trojans were held to just 28.3% shooting with 17 turnovers. Nebraska now 27-6 on the season. They'll play Vanderbilt on Saturday in the second round. Tip-off will be at 7:45. The Nebraska baseball team will play a 3-game series at Michigan this weekend. Today's game gets underway at 3. The Nebraska softball team plays at Michigan State this weekend. First game of the 3-game series is set for this afternoon at 4. Season is over for the Hastings College women's basketball team. The Broncos lost to St. Francis of Indiana 67-60 last night in the round of 16 at the NAIA tournament in Sioux City. The Broncos held a 10-point lead 3 minutes into the third quarter, but were outscored 39-22 down the stretch. Hastings had just 31% of their field goals in the game, including 8 of 33 from three-point range. McKenna Yates had 15 points for the Broncos. Macy Bryant had 13. Mariah Avila had 11. And Bose had 10. Hastings ends the season at 24-9. Hastings College baseball team will play host to Dakota West. They're 1-3 in the conference. The Tigers are 2-2. Action gets underway at 2 this afternoon, and we'll have the games here on Extreme Sports, beginning with the pregame show at 1:45. Hastings College softball team will play 2 games at Dakota Wesleyan on Saturday. First pitch will be at 2. High school baseball yesterday. Hastings High opened up this season. They lost to Norris by the score of 4-0. Tigers will play Lincoln Standing Bear on Monday. The Adams Central baseball team, they'll begin their season today. They'll play at Wayne, and the game time will be at 4:30 in Wayne. To check in your sports headlines here this morning at 7:32 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Heating things up just in time for the weekend, and that fire danger will increase as well. Today on Friday, we'll have a high in the mid-80s. Plenty of sunshine. Northerly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Overnight tonight, mostly clear skies, low of 49. Winds will back off as well. And then on Saturday, heating things all the way up to the mid-90s. Southwesterly winds gusting to 30 miles per hour. And then on Sunday, a little cooler, highs in the low 60s with windy conditions.
This morning as you wake up, get going, northwest winds at 7. We've got clear skies at 50 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Hi guys, this is Justin Consrick with Adam Marshall Land and Auction. Just want to talk to you about how we do things. I talk to farmers every day. A lot of guys just want a simple, honest way to sell equipment. That's why I work with Adam Marshall Land and Auction. We know the equipment, we know the buyers. We run real auctions with no buyer's fees, which brings in more bidders and stronger results. From one machine to the full lineup, we handle marketing, the details, the sales start to finish. We're just real people with real auctions, real results. If you're thinking about auctioning equipment, reach out and give us a call at 308-991-5429.
I'm John Butler, Funeral Director and Owner at Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the Advanced Funeral Planning Specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at
Get ready for the ultimate trivia experience with Extreme Sports Trivia. Play from anywhere at home, on the go, or at your favorite bar or restaurant. Compete live against players from all over in real time, answering questions across categories like sports, pop culture, Marvel, and more. Want to see how you stack up? Track your progress with live leaderboards and aim for the top spot. It's free, fun, and super easy to play. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today at extremesports.com trivia and start playing now. And keep an eye out. We're coming soon to a bar or restaurant near you.
All right, Mike Wills, Heinz and Veronica with you. It's Huddle Up on Extreme Sports for this Friday. Again, we'll have baseball later on today. Hastings College and Dakota Wesleyan from Duncan Field. Doubleheader gets underway at 2. Pre-game show will be at 1:45 this afternoon here on Extreme Sports. It's Friday, and you...
They're moving into the gate.
And down the Suckley come in the Kentucky Derby, and Barbaro is running away. It's Edgar Prado aboard, and Barbaro is going to win this Derby by 6 lengths. Blue Best had second. From far back, Steppenwolf came on to be third.
All right, every Friday on the show, we like to bring in Jim Sliker from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network to talk ponies, not only at the Fauner Park, but ponies in the state, maybe the nation. Anything going on? Good morning, Jim. How are you?
Morning, guys. Good. Just trying to recover from last week.
How'd things go out there in Vegas? Last week you talked to us from the Sin City. How'd things go out in Vegas?
Well, it could have went a little better for us. Out of 823 entries, we figured we were about 200. But all in all, good time out there, good time spent with a lot of great horse people, and looking forward to going back next year.
Jim Schleicher, of course, joining us as we get set for another weekend of racing here in with Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing over at Fauner Park in Grand Island. Tondy Stakes on tap this weekend. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But first of all, let's kind of talk and maybe recap last week a little bit. Sunday getting shuffled around with the weather over there at Fauner Park. How did that does cancellations, weather events like that shuffle up this weekend's card a little bit?
Oh, it really doesn't shuffle it up so bad. It added an extra race for today, and so we've got 8 races today instead of 7. Training-wise, some of these horses, they try to get them ready for a particular race, get them ready to be at their best for a particular weekend, so that'll affect a little bit, but really not that much. We only had one bad day of weather, so it didn't affect training that much. Everybody's been able to get back out on the track and keep going, and it looks like we've got a great week of racing coming up.
All right, let's dive into it. The card today, Jimmy, what pops out on the card today?
Well, the card today is a really good card. One of the races that really stands out to me is the third race. It's a race for Nebraska breds, but it's got a great field in there going on. Willie Love, last year's 3-year-old of the year. They call me Moose. He's been on a little bit of a slide here, but I look for him to bounce back. Turnburn Boss. That's a really strong race. This could easily be some of the same horses that we're going to see later on in the season back in stakes competition. So that's a really good race to get out and watch today.
Jim, let's take our attention here kind of on the very first race. you have it on your insights and predictions for today. Your long shot play coming right out of the gates in the first. A horse that right now in the morning line odds is at 8-1, and doing a little handicapping myself, I think could be a fun horse to certainly throw in some exotic plays here, and I think an opportunity to make some money right out of the gates here in the very first race.
Well, I do. I really do like DeMarch. Kelly Martinez horse coming in. Kelly's horses, if you watch this year, she struggled to start the season. A lot of her horses were training out in Kentucky, and when we had great weather here to train in, they lost a lot of time out there. I talked pretty extensively with Kelly a couple weeks ago. They had days that they couldn't even get horses out of the barn because of all the ice, and it really hampered her training. But now you see her horses are really starting to get on track, and this will be one, too, that should be on track. Now, a horse that will probably be the big favorite in this race will be a horse by the name of Trista. And Trista has the capabilities to go on to win, but I just think that Kelly's got her horse ready to go. I'll take the 8-1 odds any day over Trista. That'll probably be 3-5 or less. So I think it's a good opportunity to try to make some money there.
What about the Extreme Sports best bet of the day for today, Jim?
Well, if we're going to go for the best bet of the day, I'm going to jump up to race 4, and I'm going to look at a horse called Pedro Perez. If you watched the replay last time out, Pedro Perez didn't break extremely well. Matter of fact, he didn't break well at all. And so today he's in there against a horse called Ship's Boss. They're the two horses that should be vying for the lead. I think, though, that if we look at this race, Pedro Perez can outbreak him. And if he outbreaks him and gets that lead and gets to the rail, I really think that Pedro Perez is going to go on for a nice win here, and possibly even at some decent odds, because I think Ship's Boss is going to take some money.
Again, Jim Schleicher from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network joining us here on Huddle Up this morning. You can get all the insights and selections and horse racing news as it pertains to horse racing for the state of Nebraska on the Facebook group, Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network. Jim, let's turn our attention. Saturday, the Tondy Stakes race, the 6 furlongs on dirt. This features General Shipman, who has run very well here at Vonner. But one of the horses I want to talk about, the one that I've circled here, the 8 horse in painted blue. Walk us through the Tondy Stakes, and am I on an island here with the 8 horse in painted blue?
Oh, no, you're not on an island there at all. Painted Blue won really easy last time, went straight for the lead, got out there, carried that lead all the way to the finish, won easily. There's another horse in here, though, General Shipman, that's going to be going for the lead. This here's a very strong Nebraska bred. And General Shipman and Painted Blue could get out into a speed duel. And I really like, at that point, another one of Kelly Martinez' horses, Sprint Out Pass. Sprint Out Pass comes in from Kentucky, where he was training out there, has one race, but he got beat by Time Muse. Run a nice race, only run second, but that was all the way back on February 21st. And I think, given the added time, a little more training, I look for this horse to be able to stalk right behind those 2 leaders. And when they falter in that speed duel, I look for it to pick up the paces and lay them down at the end. But either one of them could win, or we could see Rexford that come in from Will Rogers down in Kentucky, who won real easy last time too. So overall, it's like the temperature. It's going to be a hot race. It's going to be hotly contested.
And the way my bracket was yesterday, Jim, I'm looking for a sure one for the Saturday's card. Where's the best bet at on Saturday to try to get me into the winning column?
Well, let's hope that we can get this horse home this time. We tried it last time as our best bet. Second race is Army Kid. It was sent out as a favorite in his last 2 starts, and he failed to win both of them. But we're seeing a big class drop in it today, a lot easier group. It was beaten last time by Silver Screen. Silver Screen went wire to wire, beat it really convincingly. There is no Silver Screen in this race, so Army Kid ought to be able to pick up the pieces and come home with the win.
Again, Jim Schleicher from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network joining us each and every Friday morning here on Huddle Up as we talk ponies. One of the good things, Jim, about the Nebraska Thoroughbred horse racing network group is it's not only just predictions and results and entries, it's insights and it's news into Fawner, and it's some handicapping tools. And I'm not remiss to know that there's some handicappers and some horse racing enthusiasts that listen to this program. We talked earlier this year about a discrepancy in the program versus the digital handicapping tool, which a lot of us use, which is Equibus. You've had some resolution on that. I was reading on the Facebook group.
Well, it was a fun time out there in Vegas, and Racelands and Equibase have representatives out there, and Racelands is part of Equibase. I was able to sit down and talk with one of their representatives because I was really disappointed, and so were a lot of fans, when we started seeing the programs that there was only a final time in the race, yet alone the times were changing from what we seen when we looked at our form charts the night after the races. And the way they explained that to me is, we always knew our races were hand-timed. They're using a stopwatch, so there's human error involved. They went back and they changed the times on a lot of our races. They were using video replay and some AI in there. And so they feel their times are a lot more accurate. Well, the disappointment was when they were only putting the final time in. When I talked to them out there, I said, we have a lot of information out there. You're putting what a sire is standing at stud for, what a horse sold for in a sale, how many wins a jockey has, how many wins a trainer has for the number of starts. And it's very important that we have these split times. And after talking to them pretty lengthy out there, they were able to resolve the issue with them, and they said, you're right, our bettors deserve more than that, and we'd be happy to put those back in. So as you look at your programs this week, you will see probably about 95% of the race times have been restored. There's a couple of them that still aren't in there, but they're working to resolve this issue, and going forward, we will have all these split times. So I hope that helps you as a handicapper. I know it does me. I was handwriting all these times down for every race and charting my own, and so now I can go back and look at the Equibase charts, the daily racing form charts, and et cetera, and all that information will be there for you.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah, way to carry the hammer there, Jimmy. Don't let those guys slide anything by. Way to carry the old hammer for us.
Well, I didn't want to be Fawner Park, the little track that could, to be the Fawner Park, the little track that once was, and I kind of felt like that's where they were setting us aside. And after talking to them out there, that wasn't their intention. It does take them a lot of extra time where our races aren't electronically timed. But now we're able to restore all these, and so hopefully you as a fan, you as a bettor, will have the information to move forward to play some good bets.
Okay, I got one question here. In today's world and with today's technology, why are our races being timed with a stopwatch?
Well, the reason is it comes down to dollars. When I talked to Chris Katulak a couple years back, in order to set up a timing system where we were using electronic timing, there's so many different starting positions out here. If you run a mile 70 race, you'd have to have things all calculated out for the 70-yard factor, the 16th factor, et cetera. To have all those in place, it would cost approximately $300,000 to set up the timing system. And they felt that $300,000 was probably better off put into other things, whether it be purses or, just maintaining the track itself, to keep our horses safe.
All right, I knew there had to be a quick answer to my question there. So, anything else going on in the horse racing industry we need to know about here?
Oh, we're 5 weeks out now from the Kentucky Derby, so we're going to start getting into those races here probably next week. There'll be a lot of prep races coming up, and we'll try to keep people informed on what's going on there. So that'll be our next thing that we'll be moving towards, and it's still March Madness, so go Nebraska.
That's right.
All right, so again, you can follow Jimmy's picks on his Facebook group, and it's really easy to find. You go to Facebook and dial in the Nebraska, Thoroughbred or just Horse Racing Network?
No, it is Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network. And so if you go over there, we'll have all our insights and predictions for every day of racing, every race, and also a lot of other information available to the public there so that they can make informed decisions also.
All right, so hopefully we can win some money this weekend. Now that I don't have a basketball tomorrow, I might have to slide up there tomorrow, Jimmy.
Well, I was kind of looking forward to that $10,000 too, but I didn't quite do so well there neither, and I didn't do enough in Vegas to try to make a bunch of money, which I was really hoping to because I wanted to get season volleyball tickets. And, they sent me a letter yesterday, or I guess it was on Monday, telling me that if I was interested in season volleyball tickets and to get into the lottery, that I would probably, or you as a fan, would have to donate over $12,500 just to be in the running for these 1,500 additional tickets. And I thought, I love volleyball, but I can watch it on TV.
That's right. Yeah. Wowza.
All righty, Jimmy. Have yourself a great weekend. We'll catch up with you again next Friday morning, all right?
Sounds good. Hope to see everybody out at the track. I'll be down by the paddock. Got any questions, just look me up, and I'll be glad to answer your questions for you.
Thanks, Jim.
Nice.
You guys have a great weekend.
All right. Jim Slacker from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network. Again, you can follow his posts and his predictions and all the insights on horse racing, not only at Fowler Park, but across the state and across the nation on his Facebook group at Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network. You can find him on Facebook. So,
just checking up on the comments real quick here before we get to our next break. Ryan Martin Outdoors, who commenting on YouTube today. North Carolina lost the lead, which was crazy. They did the same thing in the 2022 National Championship game against Kansas. They blew. That was the biggest margin, biggest lead, biggest deficit to overcome, biggest comeback for BCU, I think, in the tournament's history.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had that yesterday. As part of my Blazing 5 pick.
I know you did.
Yeah, we're having some issues with Facebook today. A lot of people do.
There's a dispute.
Yeah, we'll get it handled. IT guys all over it. So if you usually watch us on the Facebook Live, you probably are not able to get in to watch us today, but you can follow us anywhere else. YouTube,
Check
Twitch.
it out, YouTube.
Yeah, we're on there. So anyway, waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. It's a 7:53 now on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
All right, budget discussions were the main topic in the news yesterday. When Nebraska plays at noon, there's not a lot of things that go on. So we're going to focus on the budget. I know everyone's favorite topic. Nebraska's main state budget bill has stalled after a revolt from conservative lawmakers over the removal of the private school voucher program. We told you yesterday that the Appropriations Committee chair had stripped about $3.5 million that were tied to the voucher program. Well, that prompted some backlash from Republicans who say the move broke earlier agreements, whatever that means. The disagreement, however, led to enough opposition to block the budget's advance, raising concerns about delays as lawmakers face deadlines to pass a balanced spending plan. Supporters of removing the funding say it was necessary to prioritize other budget needs, while opponents argue it undermines school choice efforts, which that effort was given a voice by voters. Anyways, a second Nebraska budget bill is moving forward, even as the state's main budget package stalled. Nebraska lawmakers did advance the measure to the final round of debate, keeping part of the state's two-year budget on track. This particular bill includes adjustments to state spending and is seen as less controversial than the proposal that failed. It is coming up on 7:55. How about we slide over to the East Side Studios? Mike, what's going on in sports?
Well, the Nebraska men's basketball team beat Troy 76-47 yesterday in the first round of the NCAA tourney in Oklahoma City. For their first tournament win in the program's history, Bryce Sanford hit 7 3-pointers and finished with 23 points. Jamarcus Lawrence added 13 points. Reich Mass had 11. Braden Frager came off of the bench to score 13 points. Defensively, Nebraska made life difficult for Troy. The Trojans were held to just 28.3% shooting with 17 turnovers. Nebraska now 27-6 on the season. They'll play Vanderbilt on Saturday in the second round. Tip-off for the game will be at 7:45. The Nebraska baseball team will play a 3-game series at Michigan this weekend. Today's game gets underway at 3. The Nebraska softball team plays at Michigan State this weekend. First game of that 3-game series is set for this afternoon at 4. Season is over for the Hastings College women's basketball team. The Broncos lost to St. Francis of Indiana 67-60 last night in the round of 16 at the NAIA tournament in Sioux City. The Broncos held a 10-point lead 3 minutes into the third quarter, but were outscored 39-22 down the stretch. Hastings hit just 31% of their field goals in the game, including 8 of 33 from three-point range. McKinney Yates had 15 points for the Broncos. Macy Bryant had 13. Mariah Avila had 11, and Bose had 10. Hastings ends the season at 24-9. Hastings College baseball team will play host to Dakota Wesleyan today in a doubleheader out at Duncan Field. The Broncos are 1-3 in the conference. The Tigers are 2-2. Action gets underway at 2 today. We'll have the games on Extreme Sports beginning with a pregame at 1:45 this afternoon. Hastings College softball team will play 2 games at Dakota Wesleyan on Saturday. First pitch will be at 2. The Nebraska Kearney softball team will host Pittsburgh State today and Missouri Southern on Saturday. Hastings High baseball team opened up the season with a 4-0 loss to Norris yesterday. Tigers will play Lincoln Standing Bear on Monday. The Adams Central baseball team will play at Wayne today, and their season opener first pitch will be at 4:30 this afternoon. After checking the sports headlines at 7:57 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Heating things up just in time for the weekend, and that fire danger will increase as well. Today on Friday, we'll have a high in the mid-80s. Plenty of sunshine, northerly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Overnight tonight, mostly clear skies, low of 49. Winds will back off as well, and then on Saturday, heating things all the way up to the mid-90s, southwesterly winds gusting to 30 miles per hour. And then on Sunday, a little cooler, highs in the low 60s with windy conditions.
We've got northwest winds this morning at about 7 miles per hour. Clear skies. It is 50 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Trouble's brewing at Elbow Bend, and somebody's about to get fleeced. This is Mick with Maleta Vista Winery announcing our mystery dinner tickets are now on sale for the Golden Fleecing, Wild West Murder Mystery. So get your tickets at Maleta Vista Winery's events page. Come dressed as your best cowboy or saloon girl garb. Enjoy a great meal, a glass or two of hooch, and help solve the crime before the night's over. But watch your back, buddy. The outlaw might be sitting at your table. The Golden Fleecing Mystery Dinner at Maleta Vista Winery, March 28th, April 18th.
Conant Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Conant Auto Care is here for you.
All right, Mike Wills, Heinz and Vronic with you. It's a Friday morning. Again, you will have baseball today. Dakota Wesleyan, Hastings, Duncan Field. Doubleheader gets underway at 2. On the air with a pregame at 1:45 this afternoon here on Extreme Sports. Again, Nebraska playing Vanderbilt in the second round of the NCAA tournament. It's going to be 7:45. They've set the game time now. 7:45, Nebraska and Vanderbilt, as the Huskers try to sneak into the Sweet 16. 2.5-point dogs right now with Nebraska and Vandy.
It's a fair line, but I'll tell you what. I think that is probably going to be one of the best games of the tournament. Just in terms of the way these two teams match up, the atmosphere, I think, is going to be unlike anything you're going to see in round 2. Anywhere. We're going to bring the noise. We're going to bring the fans. We're going to bring the atmosphere, and listen. You beat Vanderbilt, man, and I told you this when we first saw the brackets and we first saw the draw, and I said, "Ooh, Nebraska Vandy's going to be a buzzsaw if it comes to that." But if you get back past Vanderbilt, I'm not going to put a prediction on this team. I think anything can happen. You get past Vanderbilt, sky's the limit for you. This is a huge game. It absolutely monumental. As much as getting the first tournament victory for Nebraska, and as much relief as we all felt, and you heard it in Kent's voice in his final call, and talking about, sitting at home and watching and dreaming for that first win, and finally be able to do that. That can't be the Super Bowl, right? That first victory can't be our Super Bowl victory and saying, all right, well, that's the cherry on the... It is. If the season ended against Vanderbilt Saturday, I wouldn't be shocked, and I would say we had arguably the most successful season in program history. That's a great thing. And I'll still build that statue for Fred Hoiberg. But win this one. Oh, boy. Oh,
yeah,
boy.
I'm just looking ahead. If we win this game on Saturday...
Likely Florida.
Florida and probably... or Iowa. Iowa played today against Clemson, I think.
You don't think... You don't think
Iowa
think
we'd
could...
have a...
Oh,
yeah, see, we could,
Nebraska,
we could
Iowa in the
Iowa.
Sweet 16?
Yeah, that could happen.
Oh, Lord, make it happen.
Yeah, it looks like Iowa plays Clemson today. Then they would have to play Florida. They have to play Florida on Sunday.
Just the reigning, defending national champions. No big deal.
Yeah, so the chances of Iowa and Nebraska are not good, but there's a possibility that could happen.
So you're saying there's a chance?
There's a chance.
Cool.
There's a chance we play like we did yesterday. There's a chance to beat Vandy. One game at a time.
I think so.
All right, so that's what's going on this weekend.
We didn't get a report from OKC from Amber. I was hoping for a live report from OKC.
Yeah, she was going to call in yesterday. She didn't.
She failed. Failed us.
They're getting ready. They're getting ready for
pregame.
God, I bet last night was a party.
I bet it was a hootenanny.
Good thing good thing we're not playing back-to-back days. Yeah, how's the fans going to get back on the horse again today?
Could you see an arena full of hungover Husker fans and like yelling and screaming, "Defense, shut up! Oh my God, my ears!"
I don't feel well.
I don't feel
well. So, anyway, at least they got a day to recover. All right, anything else going on we didn't cover? I'm heading downstairs. I think I've got a good breakfast planned for me here at this hotel today in Sioux City before I pack things up and get the hell out of here.
You gonna slide in and join me for game 2?
I could. Make her.
I don't think you're going to.
Maybe.
Yeah. Enjoy the night off. I'll take the reins tonight.
Yeah, you drive the truck. Anyway, have yourself a great weekend. If you want to listen to the show again, you can download the podcast off your favorite social media sites. listen to the show again. Maybe you missed a portion of it. You can listen to Jim Slacker's predictions again that we had. Comments from Fred Hoiberg for Nebraska, Scott Cross for Troy, and also a brief comment from Kent Pavelka, the play-by-play man for Hastings, for Nebraska men's basketball. So that's what's going on here. I'm going to pack up and start heading home here from Sioux City. Have yourself a good day. Have yourself a great weekend. See you again on Monday.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports. Join us every weekday morning from